Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of That Podcast. My name is Ryan Jenke, and I'm joined by Pastor DJ Lura and Sarah DeYoung. And today is the day before New Year's.
We made it.
We did.
We got to the end of 2020.
Oh, man. Well,
hopefully.
We might be premature. We're recording this ahead of time. Let's knock on wood.
I am not a premillennial dispensationalist, but looking at the signs of the times, I thought Jesus was coming back.
Man, well, if this episode doesn't get released, we'll know why.
Yeah, that's right.
The rapture.
This is our pre-rapture podcast.
And if you're hearing it after 2021, then either we weren't chosen or it didn't
You're left behind.
Oh, what a year. What a year.
It seems like every time I'm like, okay, that's about as bad. That's got to be about as bad as it's going to be. At least on a personal note, it gets worse. Like in my own life with my entire family getting COVID right at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a good run, about 8 months, no problems. And we've been, following all the rules. My wife works in healthcare, so she gets tested often. And but the social distancing and all that stuff. But boy, oh boy, after Thanksgiving, just...
Mm-hmm.
My son got tested twice. He is 6, and he is made of Teflon.
Yeah, well, he's the
Nothing
ninja.
sticks.
Yeah, he is the ninja. He just dodges every virus that comes his way. His second test just came back this morning, and it was negative.
Man. Well, I have a friend of a friend who, it's my friend Jill, one of her coworkers, who... basically, her family used up all of their allotted COVID time being on watch. Mm. And then at the end of it, all tested positive for COVID.
Oh man.
It's like...
Oh, man. Jill, we're sorry.
That's right. So let's tick off some of the dumpster fires that made 2020 extra interesting.
Well, let me just tell you how long 2020 was.
Okay.
You ready for this? On March 20th, Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness, a documentary about Joe Exotic and that whole dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
I would call it a dumpster fire.
Debuted
they
on...
had the oversized Chucky on the jet ski.
That debuted on Netflix March 20th. In June...
Gosh, that seems like it was so long ago now.
I know.
It's just in March.
In June of this year, Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic's arch nemesis, assumed control of his zoo.
She did?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
In June. In September, which is how long ago now?
Just a couple months.
Yeah.
3 months.
Seems like forever. Carol Baskin debuted on Dancing with the Stars.
Didn't make it that long. Spoiler alert.
And on September 28th, Carol Baskin was eliminated from Dancing with the Stars.
Is that one episode?
No, I think it was like 2 or 3.
2 or 3, okay.
The fans get you through for a couple.
Oh.
Now,
well, I guess so.
As I said, we're recording this ahead of time, but by the time this debuts, Joe Exotic may have gotten a pardon from Donald Trump.
Oh my goodness.
Because in June, Donald said Joe is a strange guy, but he said he'd consider pardoning him.
That's just the cherry on top of 2020.
Yeah, that totally makes sense for this year. Any other year, I'd be like, no. No, yeah, I could see it.
I can't wait for the aftermath if he does. Like, what?
It would just be so 2020.
Oh, yeah. Like, what else can happen?
It would be even better if it happened at like 11:59 on New Year's Eve.
Is that going to be a new euphemism? That's so 2020.
That's so 2020. Man.
When things are just upside down and sideways. That's so 2020.
You know how they retire numbers in sports and things? Maybe we'll just retire 2020 and it'll never be like spoken of.
It'll be the 13th floor of hotels. We don't include it. We don't talk about it.
And the history books goes from 2019 to 2021. Just a complete blackout of 2020.
They pull out a whole encyclopedia of like 1,000 pages of here's 2020. Good luck if you can figure it out.
But that's just how long. I mean, March is when Tiger King debuted. It feels like I watched that years ago.
Right.
I was also just thinking about the fact of the world kind of came to a halt right after St. Patty's Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them like hearing that the parade was canceled, but the other festivities were continuing. I was like, that's so weird. Like, this is going to be done in like 2 weeks, maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in February, we were getting ready for Lent, and COVID just went kerploosh here, and everything shut down. I remember going, hey, don't worry about it. 2 weeks wearing masks. That'll stop the virus, and we'll be up and running. And boy, oh boy.
Yeah. It dropped on
a prophet I am not.
Yeah, I think back, we had a great every year they're great, but we had a great Lent drama going on.
Yeah.
We had to
It was going to be a good one.
We had to sort of, we didn't stop it completely, but it definitely.
We had to. Do you remember that we had a couple of teenagers in the play, and they were the best.
Yeah, they were great.
They made the play, and we had to say to them, "I'm sorry, guys, we can't have you do this anymore because the schools were closing down, and it was just a safety thing." My daughter was one of them, and she was so bummed because she really enjoyed that. So
yeah,
I can't wait for 2021 when we can hopefully have the Lenten plays back up again.
Yep, I remember that. That was a bummer because we were supposed to have people from Jews for Jesus here too.
Yes,
that Easter. So
that's right.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Yeah, I remember I ordered at Atonement. We've got like these big hall posters that we put up for upcoming events and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna order one for Easter. It's gonna happen. And now it's Christmas time, and I was like, no,
no.
Like, why even bother?
Yeah, man, but I just think back to, it feels like forever ago, and it wasn't even a full year. But, I always say my 2020 sort of started in August of 2019 when my sister had her accident.
Yes.
It's been, it feels like it's just been going since then.
Hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the prequel.
Yeah. Yep, the prequel to 2020. Oh, man.
All right, so the whole Tiger King Odyssey may not be over yet.
Oh, no, I don't think so. No.
So what else happened in 2020?
Murder Hornets.
Murder Hornets?
Do you remember all of that with the murder? Oh my goodness. It was nuts.
I also remember, I'm gonna have to look up what it was, but there was supposed to be something about like the largest cicada bug. Like, I don't even know what to call it. But I remember, because it's a big lot of South Dakota, you have cicadas everywhere, and they're just the most annoying bugs for like 2 weeks, and then they die.
There are not cicadas in North Dakota, are there?
I don't think so.
I don't think there are.
Every couple years, they're on a cycle, and they were in North Carolina, and holy moly, all summer long, it was just, the air was buzzing.
Mm-hmm. So the first time I ever heard a cicada, I was in Kansas City, and I'm like walking around going, what is that?
I thought there was rattlesnakes in the trees.
And so I'm like, what is that? And I'm in Kansas City. We had gone down there to drop my niece off to college. And so we went somewhere. I don't remember if it was a restaurant or gas station or where it was, but I said to the person inside, what is that buzzing outside? What buzzing?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, you don't hear it. You just...
But there were supposed to be like millions of them, and never happened.
Never happened.
Yeah.
So the cicada scare never happened.
Yeah.
But the murder hornet scare did. And what I found interesting about that is learning about the murder hornets. Did you guys learn anything about those things? So I don't remember how many years ago this was. Ryan, you may remember this. Sarah, this may have been before your time. The killer bee.
Oh,
scare.
yeah. Yep. For a while, that was going to be the end of the world.
Right. Turns out there's no such thing as killer bees, and according to zoologists, there's no such thing as killer hornets. It's a poor label that's been put on this hornet. That what it does is it attacks European honeybees, and they can't defend against it. But Asian honeybees can. When a murder hornet would go into a nest, there's a certain temperature that they can survive, and the Japanese or the Asian honeybees can survive like 2 degrees higher. So they swarm the murder hornet, and they begin to shake, and they raise the temperature to that 1 degree that's in between the two of them, where the honeybees can still survive, and it like melts the murder hornet. Wow. And the murder hornets aren't even something that like in Asia is feared. They eat them. Like they'll roast them like chestnuts.
Really?
Yeah. But I guess
chocolate covered murder hornets.
Yes. And I guess they get the name because of what they do to honeybees, not because of what they do to people. But there was such a scare about that in the midst of everything else that was going on. It was like everything was amped up to 15 in 2020.
Oh, for sure.
Everything was a scandal. Everything was, the sky is falling. Yeah.
Everything was weird. And remember, Tom Hanks was the pioneer for the COVID. Remember?
What was he, Agent Zero?
Well, I don't know.
Patient Zero?
He was out of the country too,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
He was in Australia.
Yeah.
Him and his wife both got it.
That's why Norm Macdonald dubbed it Tom Hanks disease. That never really took off, though.
I feel like, though, if you said to me you got the Tom Hanks disease, I'm incredibly talented and just nice to people. Mm-hmm. Shoot. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, right. Did you know that Kevin Hart had COVID at the exact same time as Tom Hanks, but he didn't release a press release because he's like, I'm not gonna top Tom Hanks.
Upstage.
No one's gonna know.
It'll be like, oh, I died on a plane with more famous people around me. I'm in the footnotes.
Right, exactly. So he's like, I didn't say a word.
Yep.
When I got the vid.
So Harry and Meghan also left the royal family this year.
Are you looking at the same New York Post article that I am?
No, no.
That was in 2020?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh.
Of course it was.
We were supposed to have an Olympics this year.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, we were.
2020.
It's 2020, man.
Tokyo.
They got pushed off to 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh man, where have I been? I've been just
immersed in 2020.
Yeah, I guess. Staring at my own belly button and just lamenting the sorrows of this entire year.
Yeah. Another thing, and I didn't know this. I didn't realize this, that Mr. Peanut was killed off and reincarnated as Baby Nut.
That happened during the Super Bowl, didn't it?
Mr. Peanut with the top hat and the cane?
Yeah.
How do you kill a peanut?
I don't know. Well, the character. Killed off the character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's Baby Nut.
Yeah.
There was a couple other if I remember right, there were a couple other like brand changes. When did the Washington Redskins become the Washington football team?
Oh, that was right before the season started.
So that was in 2020.
That was in 2020. Yeah. Wow. Yep. Elon Musk's baby was born in. How do you pronounce that? Barbara or
Steve?
Steve.
Jeff.
Isn't it like 2XY47 or some kind of?
Well, I don't know these.
I think they just call him X or Z. They just go by one of the letters. But
he's named after Elon Musk's favorite airplane or jet.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's like a X and then an A and an E together. I don't know what that digit would be. A-12. But anyway, you pronounce it X-A12.
That poor kid.
Who am I to say?
I feel worse for his teachers.
I was gonna say
any substitute.
His kindergarten teacher.
X is the name now.
Substitute teacher. Where is X?
He just knows.
Like who's? Someone's pranking me.
I don't know. But so speaking of Elon Musk, he was also behind SpaceX, which launched this year as well, right?
Yep. I don't remember if it was in 2020 or 2019, but there was a point where everyone was jumping ship from Elon Musk's company because he seemed really erratic. But now you look back at it and it's like he's one of the richest guys in the world now.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. I've heard theories that he's an alien trying to get back to his home planet, and that's why he's.
Was that on the most trusted name in news?
No, I don't think I saw
Okay,
it
well
there.
then I can't be sure that's true then.
Kobe Bryant died this year.
No.
That happened this year.
So did
Yeah.
RBG and Chadwick Boseman.
That's right.
Oh,
Wakanda
Ruth Bader
Forever.
Ginsburg.
Ruth
Yeah.
Bader Ginsburg.
Yep.
Sean Connery.
Yep. Sean Connery.
The great
passed away.
Sean Connery passed away.
Yes. Yeah. Gosh, I wonder who else passed on this year. Let's see what else we've got going on. Oh yeah, Kanye ran for president this year, and he got some votes.
He did.
Kanye West.
Yep.
What will he do in
Wowee.
2021?
That's tough to say. Anything he wants, I would say.
True.
I'm hoping
Except be
2021 is going to be very calm, which means all the crazy has been. We'll take a break.
Maybe Kanye will just like go dormant for 10 years and 2030 he's going to come back just like stronger than ever.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Who else passed? Oh, how do we forget Alex Trebek?
Oh,
Passed away this year.
Trebek.
Yep. There's it's so 2020, right? Gosh, what else happened this year?
Australian bushfires and
Oh, that's
West
right.
Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole West Coast
Yeah.
was aflame.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's just and Charlie Pride just passed away. You know,
Yeah, I did.
that
I
was
did see
just
that.
last week. So it's
So
crazy.
how many kind of the plagues are we missing until it's Egypt in the Bible?
Well, what would you consider locusts? Because locust is one, flies is one, complete darkness for a day.
Hopefully, flies and locusts a combination isn't called Murder Hornets. Otherwise, we got two out of the way right there.
Boils
Yeah.
on the livestock and the people. Hail.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I know I'm forgetting some. I want to say one is gnats. So there's like gnats, flies, and locusts.
Mm.
Hail, darkness, boils. The
river-
river turning to blood.
Turning to blood. Yep.
That's 7.
I'd have to
Look them up.
look that up too. But Eddie Van Halen passed on this year as well.
That's right. That's right.
Man, we have a lot to look forward
Greatest
to.
guitarist of all time.
You think so?
Well, I think he was asked to join Wild Stallions. Bill and Ted really wanted Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's hard to compete then. Ted Nugent is good. I like
Uncle Teddy.
his guitar playing. So let's see. What did we miss? Whoops. Yep. Blood. Frogs.
Frogs.
Let's see.
That's 8. Death of the Firstborn is 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm missing 1.
Let's see. Locust. Darkness. You got that already. Oh, the Passover. Yeah, the death of the firstborn. They don't really. Where did I go? They have a name. That was the first. Okay, so blood, frogs, wild animals. What is that? Fiery hail, locust, boils. Should have brought the Bible in.
Crazy that.
It's almost
I think we got about
I was gonna
200
say,
Bibles in the corner over
if
there.
there was like a giant stack somewhere that we could just grab
If
from.
only.
All
Very
right,
helpful.
turning water to blood, frogs, gnats, flies, pestilence of livestock.
That's the one we didn't say.
Okay. There we go.
Pestilence of livestock.
Boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and then the death of firstborn.
Passover.
Yep.
So we're not quite
We got a ways.
No.
We got a ways to go. Yeah, we've got a ways to go.
We're not quite Egypt in 2446 BC. After that, they
26
would
years
say,
to go.
yeah. After that, they were like, that was so 24 or 46.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, Regis passed away this year.
Oh yeah.
We just filled in.
Yeah, I should quit looking at that website because it's, man, that's tough. Cliff Robinson. I don't know who that is. Huh. So,
We had hurricane upon hurricane upon hurricane. So many hurricanes.
Nicaragua got blasted.
Yep. They had to end up going to Greek letters because they do the names, right?
Yeah.
And they go through all the
Yep.
names, and I think they go through the names twice, or is it just once? And then they go.
Now I'm not sure, but do they do male and female names?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah. So then it would be twice.
And then they go. Then they went to Greek letters.
Then they ask Elon Musk, what should we name this next hurricane?
Gamma,
He basically
Delta,
just
Epsilon.
Runs a hand against a keyboard and hopes for the best.
Do the piano sort of brink? There's what we're calling it. So, crazy. So, yeah.
Well,
so
and then coronavirus hit twice.
Mm-hmm.
2 waves. So there's all the bad things. Now the Washington Post released an article called 20 Good Things That Happened in 2020.
Let's hear that.
Okay, let's see.
Some good news.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we did get the vaccine.
Just under the cut too.
Mhm.
Just shy of 2021. And that is something that is just absolutely amazing. When you talk about innovation and leaps in science, that's never happened before.
No.
That a vaccine came out that quickly, in under a year, under what, 10 months
Yeah.
from the moment that they started the warp speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fast. It was really fast. I feel like this article is kind of reaching here, but they do have some good stuff, and one of them is our reconnection with other people. I think that's true. Sort of reaching out and talking to people we maybe haven't talked to in quite a while. I know I've done that.
Reconnected with people.
There's more
reconnecting.
intentionality with it.
Mm-hmm. And Zoom was a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about some of the things that we use day to day now that we are now taking for granted. We didn't have a year ago, and Zoom is one of them.
Mm-hmm. So
That podcast started in 2020.
Yes.
That's number 3 on the list, right?
Well, I might have to send them something and have them.
Letter to the editor.
Yeah, have them
Up their list.
Yep, number 21. Or drop about 17 down and put us at like 4. That podcast. Well,
I'd put us right after the vaccine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Things that bring hope and good news.
but you know that we're joking about that, but that is something that happened this year that probably would not have happened otherwise. I mean, we had talked about it plenty of times, but it took that to sort of, hey, we need another way to connect with people. We need a way to
Yeah, that was the big kind of. It wasn't that it wasn't there prior to that, but it really became the focus of what we've been trying to accomplish in carrying out our mission is how can we connect with people, especially when we're being told that we need to isolate for the sake of the neighbor. And I remember us very early on quoting Martin Luther on his talk about what to do in the midst of a plague.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly that if I can limit myself for the sake of my neighbor, then I should do so.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, if my neighbor needs me, I'm also willing to be there and help them. And so it was, how can we be safe and love on our neighbor and yet still be able to connect with them? And the technology that we've been able to use has been a real blessing that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think about our worship services and having to go online.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that we weren't planning on doing something like that prior. This just was like the opportunity
Accelerated it.
accelerated it to say, let's make this happen. Yeah, I remember in 2019, you and I talking about a podcast, and I remember thinking, wow, that would be a great idea.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, I got to get back to what I was
I
doing.
gotta go do some other stuff.
Well,
You do that. That
I even
sounds good.
remember when Ryan was bringing it up, I definitely had the thought, and I think I might have said it out loud. I was like, well, what are we going to talk? Like, are we going to have that much to talk about?
Right?
Oh, when we did the first episodes, yeah, it was like, well, we got enough for 3. So
But you know what? We have been saying for a long time now that if folks could hear our conversations in our meetings, they'd really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
because our conversations usually have a lot of laughter and a lot of fun. Also, snippets of faith in here and there, but like our staff meetings and just the crew at Atonement as a whole, it's a pretty neat place.
Yeah, we have fun, and we all enjoy what we're doing, and but that Atonement reality show, can we get on A&E?
Keeping up with the Atonement.
Keeping up, yeah.
Yeah, Keeping Up with the Kardashians went away this year too, didn't it?
It did. After
20 years?
Yeah.
That show was 20 years?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you feel sick?
Oh, man.
For several reasons. I mean, for one, it was 20 years, and it's been 20 years, and it lasted 20
I have
years.
not seen one episode, but it's such the zeitgeist of our culture that I know everything about the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Even though I've never seen the show. Oh, man.
Yeah. Yep. That's done in 2020.
Did Disney Plus come out in 2020 or 2019?
I'm not
2019.
Okay.
2019.
That was 20.
The Mandalorian, I think, didn't come out until 2020.
Oh, really?
No.
They're on their second season right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, they could have had 2 seasons.
The power of Disney.
I'll have to check it out. Wilford Brimley died this year. Did I mention that already?
Wasn't he the guy on... Wait, who's Wilford Brimley?
Diabetes.
Is he the guy on Today?
No, he was on... Sarah would never remember this, but he was on a primetime show. I forget the name of it, but yes, he was...
He's the diabetes. He's the spokesman on
he was
daytime
on
TV.
The Cocoon guy.
Cocoon. He was in Cocoon. He was also on a primetime show, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was called. I'll look it up. But he had the mustache, the white mustache. So
he didn't age. From the 80s to the 30s, he looked exactly the same.
So that's the interesting piece.
Or 80s to the 30 years later.
That is the interesting thing, because the show that I'm thinking of, and I want to find the name of it. He was in Cocoon. He was in I forgot he was in The Firm as well.
He was in one of the greatest movies of all time and should have gotten an Oscar. Remo Williams, The Adventure Continues.
So he was on.
Well, so this is just what I think is so funny is you guys are like going, oh, he's been on this, and literally the only thing I can remember is the daytime TV commercial of him doing the adult onset diabetes.
Yep. So he was.
Do you know who Tom Selleck is?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe you were
Men
like,
and a
he does
Baby.
those reverse mortgage commercials.
So Wilford Brimley was in a show called a TV series called Our House. Do you remember this?
I do remember Our House.
Deidre Hall was in that. Mm-hmm. So that ran from 1986 to 1988.
That's not that long.
No, it's not that long at all. But the interesting thing is that, 86 is when it started. Wilford Brimley was born in 34, which would have made him 42.
At that time.
Mm-hmm. And I think he was the grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That
would be us.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, he didn't. I mean, I'm looking at the picture. Yeah, he looked a little bit younger, but not a whole lot younger. In 86, he had hair, I guess. But
he wasn't on daytime TV commercials.
But
he was born in 32.
So for those of you listening, go ahead and look it up. Go to the.
Hold on, your math is wrong. So he was born in 32.
Wait a minute. 34.
34.
Oh,
so 86.
50,
he's 52.
52.
Okay, now I feel
still.
DJ's just trying to feel better about 42 and grandpa
that's
being
true.
put together.
So my math was off 10 years, but still, for those of you listening, go ahead and look at the Our House Wikipedia page and look at that picture and tell me if that looks like a 52-year-old guy there.
Oh,
I mean, that's got to be some
Is he in the
makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be some makeup, right?
Yes. He's tanner.
More tan?
Tanner.
That mustache, it's
It's
iconic.
legendary.
Yeah.
It's a legendary mustache.
Yeah.
Well, good. I do feel better too that he's not 42 in that picture. But still, that's 10 years away for me.
Speaking of people who passed away in 2020, Darth Vader.
Oh yeah,
the actor who played Darth Vader, not the voice of CNN, but the guy in the suit is the one who passed away.
You know what? That's true. And also, I think yesterday or the day before, Boba Fett, the guy who played him in the original series, passed away.
Oh my!
I can't.
What
remember.
about Chewbacca? Did Chewbacca pass away in 2020?
Maybe. But all I can think of right now is I'm glad that we cleared up that math issue. Otherwise, Dr. S would have sent a scathing email.
The good doctor would have learned you.
Simple mathematics. I totally dropped the ball. I apologize for this.
Mea culpa. Fixed.
So, so we lost some Star Wars actors too. So
good riddance to 2020.
Yeah, let's look forward to 2021.
And the thing about it too is that there's going to be hard times as well as good times. But as Christians, we have a hope that goes beyond this world. Our reliance is not on the things of this world because they ultimately do not satisfy and they're not reliable. No matter how good things are going, there's going to be bad times. What we do in the midst of those bad times is what I think defines our character and defines who we are.
Yes.
And so the good that I think can be looked at in 2020 is, did we stop being so turned in on ourselves and start longing for and seeing our neighbors? It reminds me of something that was quoted by Hulk Hogan.
We talked about that in one of the first episodes, and I was actually just going to look up the quote while you were.
Yeah, pull that up because that's a really good quote about how to frame 2020.
Yeah, yep. I can't remember which episode that was, but it was very early on. I'm trying to find.
It's got to be like 1 to 3. I would guess it's in there.
It could be. But yeah, go on, DJ. I mean, you're,
our hope has to rely in something that is greater than what we see in this world. You talk about, like, again, going back to the vaccine, what a great human accomplishment as far as science and innovation and technology is concerned. And yet, as great as that accomplishment is, science ultimately is not the thing that we can rely on. Government is not the thing that we can rely on, because both science and government are managed by and run by flawed people that are not perfect. And the reality of things like 2020 or just any type of crisis in life is a bit of a reminder that that death is a very real reality and we can't deny it, but there is something greater that not even death can overcome. And that's the hope of the Christian. It's Jesus who's overcome death for your sake.
Yeah. So I found the quote from Hulk Hogan, and he posted this on his Instagram. And this was in February, I think February 7th. But it says, I'll just read the whole thing. Word up. Can you handle the truth, my brother? Only love, Hulk Hogan. In 3 short months, just like he did with the plagues of Egypt, God has taken away everything we worship. God said, uh-oh. Hang on. I'm getting a commercial on here.
Is that William Shatner?
I don't know what it is, but I wanna mute that. All right, I'll start over. Word up.
All I heard was sweet, salty, and savory.
Yeah, well, you get ads on everything. So, word up, can you handle the truth, my brother? Only love, Hulk Hogan. In 3 short months, just like he did with the plagues of Egypt, God has taken away everything we worship. God said, you want to worship athletes? I will shut down the stadiums. You want to worship musicians? I will shut down civic centers. You want to worship actors? I will shut down theaters. You want to worship money? I will shut down the economy and collapse the stock market. You don't want to go to church and worship me? I will make it where you can't go to church. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Maybe we don't need a vaccine. Maybe we need to take this time of isolation from the distractions of the world and have a personal revival where we focus on the only thing in the world that really matters, Jesus.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
That was Hulk Hogan, brother.
You know, if it didn't have the 2 lines at the beginning that was very Hulk Hogan-esque, I would have never guessed that he said that.
Well, and I think he's quoting someone else because I've seen others that have quoted the same thing. Mm-hmm. But his platform is pretty big. I remember when that came out, that was a big deal.
Yeah,
he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had 73,000 likes to it. So people saw it and over 4,000 comments. So interesting.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's and that was in February, and it seems like that was years ago too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but so we've got 2021 to look forward to. We've got you know.
Do you know one thing that's really stuck with me in 2020, especially at the end with feeling sick and whatnot? I found 2020 to be humbling to me,
Mm-hmm.
like discovering humility and gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude was a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for the people in my life. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for our church.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the real shining light for me in 2020, regardless of all the other bumps and headaches and, just the mess of things. That's, like I found myself watching the news less, watching watching the hysteria less,
Mm-hmm.
and just being grateful for the gifts that have come my way.
Noticing things that you take for granted normally.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. So, I have a question that came in. Unless we've got more to talk about on 2020 and 2021.
Oh, I can't wait for 2021.
Yep. What are you most looking forward to in 2021?
Ooh.
I'm going to do a victory dance on January 1st, 2021. Made it. Did it.
Again, that's if you're listening to us right now.
Yeah.
Then we
can victory dance.
Bison football.
Bison football will be back. I actually opted out of my tickets. That just pushed it forward to the fall of 2021.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know if we'll get in anyway.
True.
Maybe. Might be able to. We'll see. But I was we talked about this once before, I think, about I think spring football would be fun normally,
Yeah.
year round. Maybe NCAA will sort of split it up. You'll have half in the fall, half in the spring. That'd be kind of neat.
This is starting to become a best of episode because we've talked about this before too. About this year, another gift of 2020 is that we get like football year round.
Yeah. Yep.
Just keeps going.
The Rock bought the XFL in 2020. There's a good thing.
That's huge.
That is. Yep.
It's going to be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah. So we might
if you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Uh-huh. Well, it seems like everything he touches turns to gold.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love all of the Rock movies, but I especially like the ones with Kevin Hart. Anything that those two do together, I just cracks me up.
The Jumanji movies were really good. I almost liked the second one better than the first one.
Yeah.
Or is the third one better than the second one if you want to be a traditionalist?
Yes. Well, and I have to be because my daughter's favorite movie is the original Jumanji.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know why.
Well.
I find that movie slightly scary.
So I don't remember where we were at. Oh, Bison football. You're looking forward to Bison football.
Looking forward to Bison football. I don't even care if it's at the Dome in person, just even having Bison on TV. They've been watching the Bison has been a big part of my falls for the last decade.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't even think of this till you mentioned it, Sarah, but I'm looking forward to the Olympics. I love watching the Summer Olympics all the time.
So I totally missed that the Olympics was canceled. So when is it rescheduled for? And is it still in Tokyo?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be in Tokyo, and I assume in the summertime.
So 2021. And then we have the Winter Olympics in 2022.
Correct.
Wow.
Let's see here. Summer Olympics 2021. Friday, July 23rd through Sunday, August 8th.
Nice.
That's probably the normal time then.
Yep.
Sounds like to me. So,
What's
yeah.
your favorite Olympic event, or what events do you like to watch?
I like boxing, but you have to stay up late or record it if you want to watch boxing, because it always seems like it's on at 3 a.m.
I heard, and I don't know if this is true because I didn't see it on the most trusted name in news, but it seems like it would fit there. Breakdancing
It is.
Yes.
is now an Olympic sport
Breaking is what they're calling
for
it.
the B-boys and the B-girls.
Yeah.
They're also bringing in sport climbing. So like speed climbing of rock climbing.
Really?
It's another one this year.
Is it like a climbing wall, or is it like an actual mountain?
I'm not sure yet. I feel like with Tokyo, you could go either way. So
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm getting deja vu again because I feel like we talked about the Olympics in one of our episodes this year.
We've
this could just be a big Mandela effect.
Maybe.
when you're 50 in, you've talked about it all. We've covered it all. Google's got nothing on us.
Let's see here. So I can name them. There's more than I thought that there was. I didn't know that they had golf,
They also have trap shooting in the summer as one of them.
archery, badminton.
Do you like baseball, basketball? Soccer is
I love
is
watching
big in our house.
I love watching table tennis.
Table
That one
tennis.
I do. I would get maimed by if I played table tennis with one of those people.
Oh, yeah. I imagine if they played like an amateur, they probably have the ability to just like hit that ball and just like literally go through you like the cartoons. Like you look down and there's a ping pong ball sized hole through your midsection.
What happened to you? Olympics 2020.
Yeah. Swimming. I love watching swimming too.
Oh, sure.
Swimming, diving. I think
Gymnastics is
gymnastics is a big one. I think softball is also back this year, and that's a good.
big. Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Softball. They have baseball listed. Yep, softball is there as well. Yeah, like I said, boxing. Well, let's see. All the swimming, diving, that sort of thing. Water polo, archery, badminton, baseball, softball, basketball. A couple different kinds of basketball, boxing, canoeing, sprint. Yeah, all the racing.
Track and field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Track and field is, I think, one of the most underrated fun ones to watch.
Yep. Let's see. I forgot about the horse events. The Esquarian.
Equestrian?
Yeah. What did I say? Esquarian?
Like polo? Is that one of them?
Equestrian. Man,
This is like earlier this week. Ryan, instead of saying betrothed, said betrothed.
I did.
And it was one of those things that I genuinely couldn't tell if he was joking or serious.
Struggling.
Or like my roommate said, we were talking about Peloton bikes, and he goes, Pelotonics instead of pentatonics.
Oh yeah, Pentatonics. They have they did my favorite Christmas song a few years ago, and I just love it.
I was
every
going to
time I
ask
hear
you about this, Ryan, because
Little Drummer Boy.
have you heard Justin Bieber's Little Drummer Boy?
No.
That one's a pretty good one. I would say you should listen to it.
You don't keep up on the Biebs?
Well, I follow, just not that closely, I guess.
You know, it's interesting that you brought up that word betrothed. I've gotten to officiate at several weddings, but I had one wedding where they wanted to use old vows, like from an old hymnal, and in there the vow was, "I plight my troth," and I just thought that was so interesting. Rather than I take you to love and to cherish and so on, it said, "I plight my troth." And it got me thinking about that term betrothed. And troth is an old English word that basically means your entire person. What we would say like your truth. That's the old meaning of it. And plight means a very scandalous and dangerous position. And it's funny, or I shouldn't say it's funny. It's interesting to think about marriage as being a plight, a dangerous situation where you enter in with your entire self.
That's really cool.
I like that. Yeah. So I wish I had more folks that were like, let's use the old school vows and so they can plight their troth or troth or however it's said.
Quiet, Sarah. Let's continue on. Fencing. They do have some football events, it looks like.
Basketball?
But gymnastics, I always loved. I thought I mentioned basketball, but I probably mispronounced it.
Do you think that there are any strange well, I mean, breaking would be what I would say, but like in the Summer Olympics, it seems like there's not a lot of strange events like there is in the Winter Olympics, where you have events that you're like curling. I love curling. I'm just mesmerized whenever it comes on TV. I just discovered there's a curling club in Fargo.
There is.
Oh, yeah, there is. I tell you what, one of our listeners met her husband.
While curling?
Yeah.
I just picture, how you kind of fantasize with the Olympics of, that'd be so cool to do that. I just want to be the sweeper, just the person who's just sweeping the ice.
I love watching both Olympics because, in meaning no disrespect towards this, the Summer Olympics are like if you watch gymnastics, she took, there was a third of a centimeter of her foot off the balance beam, docked 10 points, this is the end of her life. But then Winter Olympics, they're like, oh, they completely wiped out. They still win gold medal. You don't, I feel like you don't have to be that good.
It's
in
not
the
a
most
score.
Respectful way. You don't have to be that good to go to the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, the judging sports they can be very scandalous. But in the Winter Olympics, you also have cross-country skiing, skeet shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, just a mixture of these two. Really? That's okay. That's a thing.
I do love the Winter Olympics as well. I like watching the bobsled.
Oh, that one's cool.
The luge.
The luge, yes. Yes.
Or the salmon.
What?
The salmon. It's when it's only one person. You run, it's a different course.
Oh.
She's learning us stuff.
Yeah.
But back to my question, are there any Summer Olympic events that you're like, well, that's just strange.
Oh.
That's an event.
I always feel like the horse and hunting ones are interesting to me. Because it's also one of those things that I'm like, does it take that much skill? In the least, but you know what I mean.
Sheesh. Well, I don't know if I do.
I'm wondering when video gaming is going to become an Olympic sport.
It could. You never know.
If breaking is an Olympic sport, it seems like we're just moving forward in historical things. Like breakdancing came out in the 80s, so
yeah, like Back to the Future when they're playing on the old school video machine.
Yes.
That's like a baby's toy. You have to use your hands.
Well, and there's an interesting conversation because Back to the Future Part 2 is technically now in the past.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's true. Yeah.
Still no flying cars.
No. But there are hoverboards, just not Back to the Future hoverboards.
So what was your original? You said you had a question. Was it about the Olympics?
No. We had a question from Lisa H.
Oh, Lisa H.
This has been a lighthearted episode, and now we're going to go here. Maybe we should save it to 2021.
Should we give a teaser? We'll hold off on the
And you'll get your answer in 2021.
That's
right. So
Next year.
what is the question?
The question is, where is God when bad things happen, or why do bad things happen?
That is excellent. And hit the music.
Oh, that was loud.
You got to turn the music off. We're not done yet.
I know. Jeez. I turned it off.
So, all right.
Backseat driving the soundboard.
No, I'm not.
We're going to give this the due diligence that it deserves, and we will discuss this in the next one.
Look for that in early 2021.
Yes.
There's another thing now to look forward to in 2021.
That's right.
Yes. All right. What else? What else you want to say about 2020 before we let this thing go?
It's been real.
Kick
It's
it
been
out
fun.
the door.
Wish I could say it's been real fun, but
You don't got to go home 2020, but you got to leave here.
just like closing time.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get out! Oh, man. All right. Well, so we've got some services again coming up, right? We've got a tradition service at 9 a.m. on Sunday and a modern service at 10:30 every Sunday. You can find us at atonement.live and atonementfargo.org. I pronounced those right?
No.
And the YouTube. You can search Atonement Fargo on the YouTube.
You didn't even have to put the in front of it, just youtube.com.
You sure you don't need the the?
I'm pretty
Thought
sure.
it was all caps. The
YouTube.
The YouTube.
If we're getting technical, it starts with a vowel, so you would have a V instead of the.
Do you still need to do www?
No.
No, it's actually https://www.youtube.com.
Correct. But I've never had to do the
Do you need the
HTTPS,
S?
But do you need the www to get it to pull up, or just youtube.com?
No, you can just type youtube.com.
Wow.
You know, I
yeah.
always
More efficient.
wonder, like,
This isn't Netscape.
what would happen, like,
America Online.
what was it like before, like there's another option for the World Wide Web? Like, what?
Well, there was nothing.
There was
Exactly.
There
So
wasn't.
why do you have to include? Why did that have to be included?
I don't know.
It's just
Okay.
it's
That's how it was.
it's how the maker made it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yep.
gonna say what
The
was before the
interwebs.
internet? The Encyclopedia Britannica missing a few letters was all you had.
Man, remember that?
Yeah. If I had to do any
Using the-
report using M, N, or O, I was out of luck because we didn't have M,
Really,
N,
you're
or.
missing that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Man, the Dewey Decimal System.
Yes. Did you have to learn how to use the Dewey
Yes.
Decimal System?
Mm-hmm.
You did, huh?
Yeah, I also had. This is where we're gonna have a whole episode of just like the hardships of millennials.
Yes.
The hardships of millennials.
Finally
you guys-
getting their due.
Oh, man,
you guys
hit
are
the
talking
music.
about encyclopedias, but I remember when I was like in middle school having to do research projects, and they're like, you can't get it all from the internet. Like, you don't know if that's gonna still be a reliable source. And it's like, come on.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Terrible.
Yep.
Poor kids.
It's horrible.
Okay, well, like I said, we've got those services coming up that you can find online. Also, if you have any questions, you can submit those at thatpodcast.net or by checking us out on Facebook or Twitter. You can find us there.
That's if Twitter makes it to 2021.
Oh, it will. It will. It will.
Well,
Maybe.
without the president tweeting every 5 minutes, I mean, who's going to
It's
be
making room for other people.
Where's it
There
going to
you
get
go.
its cash flow?
Yeah, the all caps is going to lose its love after January 23rd. All right, Sarah,
Wrap it up, Ryan.
would you like to pray us out of here?
Sure. Heavenly Father, I thank you for today and for this time to gather and discuss and have some laughs about a very hard year. But Lord, we thank you still for guiding us through this year and protecting us. And Lord, I just pray that whoever is hearing this also can find some laughs in the hardships that have been the 2020 year. And Lord, I just ask that 2021 is better than 2020. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 This
All
is
right,
most certainly true.
this is most certainly true. All right, thanks for joining us, and you can find us again next year with another riveting episode of that podcast.